working. And I just want to take a second and to tell them that it works. You just have to stick with it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I started doing before I even forgave my parents. And I was so depressed and suicidal at some times that I just would have to stop in the middle of my job or whatever I was doing and go into the silent prayer. And it really does help. Like, I don't have those anymore.
Amazing. You haven't seen anything yet. Doubt every thought. Bring every thought into captivity. Just let them all pass. Don't judge them. You haven't seen anything. It gets better and better and better and easier, easier, easier. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They're using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thanks for tuning in, folks, on this fine Wednesday. What a fine Wednesday it is to be back with all of you. I'm seeing you in the chat. We're getting ourselves adjusted. We're getting ourselves situated as we monitor the situation. Folks, let's let the people roll in here as we welcome them in. The viewers from everywhere. Thank you. Jermaine, how you doing? Loving the intro. And, of course, my people on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. That's punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. And, of course, my people here on YouTube. Welcome. How you doing? How you doing? It's Wednesday. Week's going by fast. Punchy later. And we just got a couple of things to get into today. Okay, with here together here. Anchor Baby style. Some things on my mind, you know. Bit of a loosey-goosey one, maybe. But there's some news. Call it breaking. Is it breaking? Contempt of Congress. They're holding the Clintons in contempt of Congress. They've been trying to subpoena them because they're doing this Epstein investigation, right? You know, I'm looking into it. I'm like, I didn't even know it was billed as an investigation to see if Epstein had influence over members of Congress or the U.S. government, etc. Basically, this Republican House Oversight Committee, they're like, okay, fine, let's investigate Epstein and let's see if there really was influence. I didn't even know it was like billed as such a thing, you know. But they're holding them in contempt. So we'll get into some of that. I kind of just give you the news there, but, you know, I did have some of my own opinions on that as they came up, as they percolated in my head on what's important. We'll get into a number of things, okay? We're taking it easy peasy. We'll do that news and a number of loosey goosey things, okay? There's so much. There's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But I see all of you in the chat and some of your calls coming in already. In fact, I want to get to my callers. I want to get to everybody. We'll do some calls, in fact. We'll show some love to the calls at the outset here. 888-775-3773. You got something on your mind, something you want to talk about, call that number. That's 888-775-3773. Last thing, decorum for the people listening. Some of you are just animals. You've just totally given yourself into the animal nature. You get anxious, you get sad, you get happy, you think about you feel all those things like an animal. Some of you out there are like, animals don't feel those things. Animals don't have emotions. Pay attention. No, really. Just look at them. You're not paying attention. They get sad, they get happy, they get anxious, they get embarrassed. And you are a total animal. You come on in and you don't even click the like button. So don't be rude. Come out of your animal nature and click the like button. Don't be rude. Okay? Welcome all my people here on YouTube. What else can I say? 888-775-3773. I mean, I wanted to kick off even with this too. You see Trump flipping off that heckler? Quick thoughts on that too in a moment. But look, I want to show some love to the calls. Hold on here. I believe that's Joel out of Florida. Is that how you say that, sir?
Yes. Joel.
Joel out of Florida. My apologies. Welcome.
No, yeah, you're good. How you doing, man?
I'm fine, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want to talk about a couple things. One thing real quick, I had to become a doormat.
Ooh, okay, cool.
I became a doormat.
Jesse Lee Peterson's assignment, advice / eternal assignment to become a doormat. You know, it's a personal fave of mine. Look, please tell us about it.
Oh, look, actually, I've been a doormat most of my life, you know, especially in school. I always avoided, like, conflicts and all that stuff. So I was always like, I always played off things, you know. But then you have to become a doormat at work even more. Because when you work with certain people every day of your life, you go through things with them. Am I right?
Sure. Yes.
With certain coworkers and stuff. So I
Sort of.
I had to become.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had to become a doormat where I work. You know, I work with these certain people at a busy restaurant and stuff. So.
Ooh.
Yeah, I had to become a doormat.
Are you a cook?
No. I work at a bar pretty much. It's a bar.
Gotcha.
We work at a bar, and we're the last bar open. Anyways, like, yeah, like I had to become a doormat on Thanksgiving because of certain coworker, and I just stayed quiet, man. You know, it's better to be quiet. You know, it's always been better to be quiet and not get mad and pop off. You know.
So how were you a doormat?
You know, I stayed quiet. You know, I didn't argue. I didn't fight back.
Even though you wanted to argue.
Exactly. Even though I did want to, but I hold it all inside of me, you know. So I had to become a doorman, huh? And I've always been doorman. You know, people like to mess around, like make jokes and stuff like that, but you know, you just hold it in, you know, and don't react. So that's one thing, you know. I became a doormat. But another thing is, I want to talk about ICE now.
You know, on the doormat thing, and we'll get to ICE. Apologies. You know, I find some of this interesting. It's Jesse's thing for sure. I mean, it's personally something I'm, you know, attempting to do whatever myself. But, you know, you did make me think about a couple of things. I mean, the doormat, the way you became a doormat with your coworker on Thanksgiving and all that, is that the same way? Is that the same doormat a feeling or action or behavior that you described that you were doing as a kid growing up?
Yeah, because
how are they the same?
You know, because when I went to school, you know, you go to school and you know, there's certain people at this school that would pick on you, or you know, or pick on you too much, like let's say you're friends with somebody and they're messing around with you, but you know they're your friend, they're just messing around, but they do it in front of people. That's what I'm trying to say. They do it in front of people at school, like other classmates, or you know what I mean. And you take it the wrong way, but you rather just become a doormat. And you know what, whatever. Like, I'm not going to be the party pooper here. It's just a joke, you know. Let me just be a doormat and play it off like, ha, 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 yeah, that was funny, you know.
And they were just joking back then, too. It was just a joke. If you had overreacted, you would have gone too far, you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. I probably.
Yeah, it sounds like the same thing.
Would have gone.
I thought for a moment that, like, sometimes when people I've noticed some people describe the doormat thing, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I've been a doormat my whole life, Jesse," and then they describe some of the things they went through in their life and how being a doormat was growing up, and what they end up describing is just like, just being angry inside, but just being too weak to speak up, being too weak to just do anything, and I'm like, that's not the exact same thing, I don't think, but no, you're saying. Yeah. You just the same way that you were offended, but you decided not to overreact with the coworker now is the same way you were offended growing up, and if you and overreacting to that would just ruin everything. Sounds like the same. Does sound like a similar thing.
Yeah.
Right on, sir.
And, you know, also, you know, gossip. You know, like certain things that were said about you in school, and you know, the perfect thing was to become a doormat because. It's gossip. It's not true, you know. So why would I like argue about it if I know it's not true, you know? So
that is so true. You'll never know what someone else is thinking, especially in your own thoughts. Just know that for a fact. Just know that now. Like, just like write that off. You can just like stop tripping. You'll never know what someone's thinking in your own head.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
But now let's get to ICE now.
Yes.
Because I thought about something. And, you know, we got to a point in the USA where we want to crack this down, you know? We want to get rid of illegals out of our country. And I remember this thing. I used to have a friend, right? And it's not just this friend. Like, I've seen this case many of times in my life. I had this friend in high school, right? His dad was divorced. And then I went over to his house one day, to his dad's house. And him, you know, we were, you know, going to go out and have fun. And then we went to his dad's house, whatever. And then I went there, right, and his dad had a girlfriend from the Philippines. And my friend told him he was going to marry that lady. And then why would that lady want that, you know? Because she wants to become a citizen. She wants to become a U.S. citizen. That's why.
Oh, Joel, you're such a cynic.
Anyways, and then I know another case where I know this person got married with this Dominican lady, and then I'm like, wait, this Dominican lady only wants the papers. She only wants to become a U.S. citizen. It's so obvious, you know? And I feel like ICE and Donald Trump should get down on this situation where if you want to marry this person, you're a U.S. citizen, you want to marry this person that's not a U.S. citizen, you probably just met this person and you want to marry them, and this person becomes a citizen now because you married them? No. You're
like,
no,
heck no.
no.
Ban passport bros under the Joel regime. You're putting an end to that, you're saying.
I think they should take a look into it and see what's going on because or make a rule,
because you don't want all these people becoming citizens.
They can become legal citizens, but I kind of find it a little bit I don't know what's the word, but a little weird that you marry this person and boom, you're a U.S. citizen already. Like what? How do we not know if that person is using this person?
That's called sponsorship, I think. Yeah, using them. Yeah.
Of course, it's many cases where they use people. We've seen this many of times. That these people have divorces and stuff like that.
So what's your national security concern? If what I'm trying to understand, is it that this is an avenue for illegal immigration? Is it that it's just...
I think we should just do a little bit of some Nick Shirley. Let's do some investigation on that.
Vet them.
Or make a law. Or I just baffling off, man. But I feel like they should.
Personally, I think it's one of those. You bring up an interesting thing. Yet it's I don't know the numbers, but I bet you it's one of those things that you gotta just accept because it's like this: an American citizen, if you stop them from being able to sponsor a new wife to become a citizen like them, I mean, unless there's some historical precedent that I'm not aware of, if you ban that, then you have to you might be banning some deep rights here, And are American citizens marrying foreigners that big of a vector for illegal immigration, demographic change, crime, etc.? I would venture to say no. I'd venture to say it's pretty low, even if they're out there being taken advantage of by foreign women. It's one of those things that I think you just have to accept. They have to be allowed to make that mistake. And it's not a big national security concern, let's say an open border or government policy that's pretty much tantamount to the same.
Well, I only mention it because if we're at this point in life in our country where we're checking if you're a U.S. citizen constantly, then they should check up on that as well. If this person is not a U.S. citizen, you came from a foreign country a couple months ago, and then you got married right when you got to the United States, we need to look into that. Or at least, hey, before you get married, if you were not a U.S. citizen, you need to be a U.S. citizen at least for 2-5 years before you get married. Because believe it or not, these things really do happen. People use people to become a U.S. citizen. I'm telling you, man. It's not nothing new, right?
No, I believe it, man. It's, I don't know, maybe it's just having a Colombian family or something, but I'd see couples like that a lot, and it just, even young, I'd know there's a power imbalance here. But listen, so are you saying thoughts on the immigration situation? You're saying you're supportive of ICE's actions and all that?
100 million, 100 million%. 100 million% on their side.
Right on.
I was born in Puerto Rico, but I have lived most of my life here in Florida.
Oh yeah.
And I have said it to all my family. If you came here in the United States of America and you came over here to make a living out of this country, then you got to respect this country no matter what. No matter what, you got to respect this country because you had a life in this country and you're making a living out of this country. And you have freedom.
Right on, man.
So I told all my family, it's America first.
Let's go. Okay, right on, Joel. Well, good luck on being a doormat, sir. And
yes, sir. Yes, sir. You as well, and everybody else. Become a doormat is the #1 key to life. Becoming a doormat.
Have you found it to be enjoyable to be a doormat?
50-50, you know, because it is hard to hold it in. You know, it's hard. It's hard. You know, so there's. You guys had a show about triggering, and what is it called?
Rage
triggering
baiting.
or,
that's the word I was looking for. By the way, you know,
rage baiting
Kurt kept saying rage baiting. I'm like, we used to call it something else. Trolling was one, but it's triggering. Oh, I'm triggered. That's what we used to call it.
20 more seconds. The hardest part to become a doormat is online, on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever. You see all these comments, these insane comments, and they trigger you. You want to just type in the nastiest comment you could, if possible, online to retaliate on that comment. But no, you got to become a doormat. You got to become a doormat because if not, you're going to do some evil things. And, you know, I've done some evil things on these comments with this Renee Good. I said some nasty things about her because they said some nasty things about Charlie Kirk when he got murdered. So I'm going to say those things as well.
No.
She deserved it.
Oh, well, that's different. I mean, the manner is the heart. It's the manner is the heart. You know, you could say Renee Good deserved it and not hate her. And not because you want her to die, but because she shouldn't have been there and she put herself there.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard to be, you know, it's hard. You know, the evil comes out sometimes, but that's the one part I'm working on. I want to stop commenting on all these Instagram comments, but it triggers me, man. It's hard.
Why don't you stop?
I don't know. It's almost like I wanted to talk about that. It's almost like if it was like a war. Now, ever since Charlie Kirk happened, right? You go online and all you see is these liberals versus patriots, Democrats versus Republicans, and you want to comment on it. You want to open up, you know, because it's time. We got to that point where we're done with all this bull crap. I've been living in this country, and it's always the same narrative from liberals. It's annoying, and we need to stop it. Like, all these people that we know, we got to let them know that, hey, what's going on is the right thing. Our president is doing the right thing. This is what
is it that you're doing that you believe you're doing something wrong? What is it that you're doing wrong? Is it that you believe your mere commenting is wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I said some nasty things.
No, it's the nasty things, right? It's not just you commenting. You're just like, because you're saying, you know, when I see these, I just want to comment. But wait, what's the so-called sin or crime here that you're trying to like work on here?
Well,
is it the commenting or is it the like nasty things?
Yeah. No, what I said in that comment was nasty. Like, I said, like, what happened to Renee Good was awesome, and she deserved it. Like F that bit, you know, like stuff like that. I said some things, some bad words, you know.
Right,
online, online on comments and stuff like that. You know, like, oh, she just, you know how they.
And why don't you stop
Kirk?
that?
You know, because these liberals, they know how to trigger me, man. They know how to rage bait me.
Right, but it's like we've determined that you're allowed to comment. No, we determined that it's actually the triggering moment, the rage baited moment that you're feeling guilty for, and it's like, why don't you just stop that part? And you're saying because these liberals, da da da, but you could still you could comment, da da da. Why don't you stop that? The triggering, the rage baiting. Why won't you stop that?
I don't know, man. I really don't know. And you know what? It's impacting my life every day because I wake up and the first thing I do is grab my phone, man. And I see all these new posts, and it's hard. But I have been realizing lately, like, it's better just to cool off and just whatever. Because you're not going to win. You're not going to win nothing if you win an argument over somebody on the internet. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to win nothing.
There's no win. There's no winning. There's nothing there.
Yeah, so it's almost like post-Clear Reality. I post this comment, and then I'm like, damn. What am I doing? What am I doing? I look stupid, and my job can probably see this.
Wow, you might start affecting your life if you're not careful. Listen, it's like you just said it yourself. You're not doing anything. It's for you. Again, the thrill off of it.
The thrill of it.
You're just like, wow, let me do this comment. And now you're talking to me. You're like, I'm not gonna do that again. But when that next comment you see, and you're like, this liberal. This libtard.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Two paths before you, sir. I'll let you figure that out. But anyways, fascinating conversation.
I even posted a picture on my story on Instagram, and I deleted it after like an hour. I was like, yeah, let me just take this off. You know, I'm pissing people off, and it's whatever, really. You know.
Did you hear? Yeah, you know what? You were saying, my bad.
No, go ahead.
I cut you off, man. Please. You were about to say?
That was really it.
I was going to ask you, did you catch church with Jesse and the couple that had come over 2 different church sessions and that they kind of argue? Well, not kind of. I mean, she said she was berating him for hours in the car. Did you catch that on church?
Yeah, I think because I do watch the Sunday show, so I think I do remember. And then there was somebody after they were done talking. He said, "You guys remind me of the show of Rick and Morty." Was it that couple?
Yeah, that's the one. That couple.
Okay.
And not to pick on them, they just come to mind. There's really so many examples, but you come to church and it's like, okay, you're being evil. Don't flip off and don't be angry. You're like, okay, amazing. And then you get into the car, and then the moment comes where you're like, I'm not gonna flip off and be angry, and you flip off and be angry. What do you think of that moment? Do you think it's like, well, I just keep praying God to save me, or were you supposed to do something at that moment?
Become a doormat the whole ride home.
Right.
She's gonna be like,
yeah.
She's gonna be like, okay, Jesse Lee is doing his works on this guy. He's doing the right thing. Like I can't battle against this.
Right on, Joel. Well, it's just nice talking about this with some people. Not everybody. This is crazy talk to people. Joel, call me again, man.
I will. Definitely. Take care, guys. God bless.
888-775-3773. At some point, it's like you gotta see. You want to you love your hell. You love your hell. Let me eat more vomit than I'm used to. Let me go back to the same vomit I'm used to, and then maybe you'll get sick of it with it. But let me wake up. Oh, wake up. I'm gonna pray at night. I did a silent prayer just to finish watching Jesse Lee Peterson. You get up in the morning. What did this arse just say on Instagram? What did this guy just say? Did this guy really just say that white replacement is just a boogeyman? Oh yeah, and America and Europe is just untouched. And let me just go off on it, right? Shout out to some of my callers and people. Alan, you must know that chat loves you. Maybe false love. Really just thrills. Don't get excited, but also don't take it personally when they call you names. Because obviously they love you. They can't get enough of you. I don't know where you're from, I forget. But anyways, let's see. More calls. How do I want to do this? We're showing the calls love right now. Jayden, California. How you doing, sir? You're on the air.
What's up? What's up, Nick?
Hey, Jayden, man. How
you
doing, man? I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Amazing. Nice. I just wanted to get your thoughts on something. It's it's just a little idea I've been thinking about.
Sure.
Because I noticed. So I used to. I don't really ask people anymore because I got off, Discord and the Maps on New Year's. But I used to ask people on these Christian Discord servers, what good has it done for you to believe in Jesus being God and the Trinity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And well, first they don't understand why that's relevant. But then I explain if a belief leads to good fruit, then it is like a true belief, regardless of what you think about it, right? And then once they understand that, then they're like, oh, okay, so when I started to, or even like taking Mass, I asked about, they're like, when I started to take Mass, I became more patient and loving, and I noticed that I was more, in tune with God. And I'm like, okay, so I noticed something here, right? They're saying things, like they're saying things that are like correlated, but one does not cause the other, right? Like just because you coincidentally were doing a bunch of other stuff at that time that made you more patient and stuff doesn't mean that you taking the Mass or you believing Jesus was God or you believing in Catholic, or it doesn't mean that was doing it for you, right? So I realized that people, this is like what I was talking about, religious identity. People almost subscribe to like a bundle pack of tenets, right? Like, so when they're an atheist and they're coming to Christianity, they see like the Catholic tenets, which is like, love your neighbor, believe in God, all these really good beliefs, right, that actually help your life. And then the bundle pack just kind of throws in a little crap in there as well. Like, okay, you need to take Mass, you need to, do this and that and believe in the Pope. But what happens is they don't have that ability to just see the tenets for what they are and adopt the tenets. They have to adopt the whole Catholic identity in order to get the tenets. And so that's why they be like, dude, Catholicism is the truth. And if you're not a Catholic, you're just living your life as like a degenerate, bro. Because they don't know how to like take the tenets without taking the
Who lives like a degenerate?
Does that make sense?
If they don't take the tenets?
I
just missed that last part.
Call me a degenerate. Yeah, the Catholics will call me a degenerate.
Are you on speakerphone there?
Christians.
Are you on speakerphone, Jayden?
No.
Okay.
No.
Maybe you're moving.
I'm on a
headset.
headset.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you said the Catholics would call you a degenerate because why?
Because in their mind, at least this is what I think, right? In their mind, because I don't subscribe to the Pope and taking the Mass and the Jesus being God, they think I don't subscribe to the bundle pack of Catholic, which includes the tenets of like believing in God, denying yourself. Like they think I don't subscribe to all that, even though I just don't subscribe to specific parts of it. But that's what's going on in their mind when you have an identity of something. You know what I mean? When you have the identity and then the beliefs come from that, well, then if someone doesn't believe one of your beliefs, you think that they don't have like the rest of them. Does that make sense?
What's the difference between the Catholics saying that you aren't truly there because you don't have my tenets and beliefs, and you saying about the Catholics, well, they have the beliefs, they have the bundle pack, but not the tenets? What's the difference between you two?
No, they have the tenets. They have the tenets. They definitely do, and that's what I noticed. I noticed like these mass conversions to like Christianity and Catholicism. I'm like, I don't think those conversions are false. I think they are converting to something. But to say that they're converting to like Catholicism is not true. They're converting to like the good parts of it, that like the denying yourself, right? The trusting in God. That's what they really are inside converting to. But they're just masquerading it as like they're converting to Catholicism.
Okay, so you're saying that you're saying you've determined the Catholics are like the true religion or something, or are you saying like all these religions
not just the Catholics.
All these religions have like have like their own like bundle pack, as you called it, as a set of cultural traditions and beliefs that's not necessarily the truth. So that's what you're saying, right?
Right. Even Protestants, Trinitarians, they have.
So again, what's the difference between you? What's the difference between them and you? They would say, well, you got to have our traditions, beliefs, etc., and then you'll be true. And so then they'll divide and say, my religion's true, your religion's false. And I'd like, maybe there is a difference. I'm asking this question.
Yeah, the difference
maybe there is a difference. What's the difference between them and you saying, well, their religion is false, my religion is true. I have these certain beliefs and tenets, etc.
The difference is that I don't have a bundle. I only adopt tenets when they work for me, right? Like when I can see that, oh, this is producing something good either inside of me or outside of me, right? I don't have like a set, like I'm not like a Jesse, bundle pack where I'm like, okay, I'm going to adopt all of Jesse's tenets.
Come back to your phone. Maybe your headphones are like moving around a bunch or.
Yeah, maybe they are. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yo, is this better?
Oh, yeah, way better.
Okay, yeah, I don't have a bundle pack is my point. I have individual tenets that I only believe in because I saw them to be true. That's the difference. And each tenant basically I can point to and be like, oh, this caused this in my life. This caused this. Believing in God caused me to realize I needed to stop doing this thing, right? Believing in, Jesus being my brother made me realize that I could be just like you know what I mean? I could point to the cause and effect. But with, these people who have bundle packs, when you ask them what good is done for you to believe Jesus is God, they're pointing to like other tenets that have helped them and saying that, and because it's all bundled together, that's what they're saying.
Well, you got to understand that's how like people work. The reason they were even bundled in the first place is because someone somewhere realized, well, people are actually not going to get it, but they should still they could either have different motivations, like either out of a motivation to manipulate and control or a motivation to, hey, they could maybe lead a better life. I don't know. I personally think all those motivations existed throughout the ages. And out of those motivations, they're like, they're not gonna figure. They're really not gonna see for themselves. So follow this tradition, right? Follow this set of traditions, set of
Right.
rules. You know, I mean, that's just comes hand in hand. And so that's why I ask, what's the difference between you and them? Because is there like a higher enlightened, higher minded position? Is there like a something beyond that? Because think about it. Would the person who has the truth have to defend it in this, so to speak, in the way you're doing? Or
would they have to? No.
would they even think I have a tenant? I have certain tenants. I don't even know if
well,
they
that's
even
just
think
for
like
sake
that.
of the conversation. They
Fair
wouldn't call
enough,
it
man,
tenant.
fair enough.
I'm just saying that to communicate.
True say.
But it's
So-
not like I believe there's like a tenant. It's like Assassin's Creed, right? Like, no, it's like these are just things I believe, and I just
Fair
call them a
enough.
tenant.
So what's like life been out there? You going around to different churches? You said.
No, not even. No, I was saying that I used to do this, a lot online.
Gotcha.
I don't
That's
really
right,
go
online,
and
with the
try to
Christian
debate
discourse.
people anymore. I got off that.
Yeah.
But it just
silly.
was something that came to me, and the reason it did is because I saw this video about there's a mass conversion to Catholicism. Like all these celebrities are converting to Catholicism. All these people, it's growing in numbers, or like conversion to Islam, right? And I'm like, are they really converting to Islam, or are they just converting to, this ideology that because of some of the things in it produces good results? They're converting to that. They're not converting to the religion. That's kind of what sparked this.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're touching on like just how people operate. You know, when I watch videos of like, I don't know if you remember these videos that were going around like from the UK some like 10 years ago about like these jihadis over there, Jihadi John and stuff, and how they recruited all these like baby-faced ginger Brits, right? British, like, and they're all like, and then they suddenly grow out a beard and they're wearing all this stuff. They're like, yes, Allah, I love Allah, and all that.
Right.
You're like, you wonder how that happens, right? You wonder how that video that was going on in the UK, which one was it? It was like, I forget what it was. I think it was like a cop, and he was like going around speaking like Arabic to everyone. He's like, I converted recently. You know, how does that happen? It's because of what you're saying. Like, there's some very basic things that people are into, how to make your life better, etc. And then there are like pressures.
Right.
And you're touching on like human nature.
Like that.
They
that
care
cop,
about these basic things, and then they'll like get pushed. Then one little detail gets pushed, right? Like for example, your whole area becomes Muslim, and you're like, yeah, you're gonna become a Muslim, right?
Right. It's like about Muslims specifically and Catholicism. I think like the appeal is like their piety, right? They're like total devotion to this, and if you like, and it's like kind of like a strength thing too, right? It's appealing to young men because it's like, bro, you don't talk crap about Muhammad, or I'll beat you up, right? So they're really converting to that. They're not converting to Islam, but because they've like bundled it all together, they think they're converting to Islam, and they're trying to convert others to Islam instead of just saying, why don't we just be men and not talk about Allah or be bombing people, you know?
Fair enough, man.
All right. That's all I want to say.
Jayden, call me again, man.
Have a good one.
888-775-3773. Let's see here. What's up, Jim? How you doing, Alaska? I'm hearing about this lady who's running for, what is it? Is it governor in Alaska? Some woman. She's all like, Mary Peltola. Oh, the Alaska Senate race. It's kind of boring. Heating up, you know, it's like midterms are heating up, and the Democrats coming in with a move they've been working on over months. Like, I don't know if my show was like deep on those kind of things. I bet you if I like looked into it, I'd find very interesting things, but from my vantage point, I'm like, who cares? But I heard her saying something about like, I'm Alaska first, okay? I don't care about the mess of the lower 48. You know, Alaska's like geographically apart from the other 48 states. She's like, do you know it costs like $17 for a gallon of milk? And it's like, Washington doesn't even care about that. Should they? Am I tripping, Jim? Like, I'm not saying I want you guys to have $17 milk gallons. I mean, that's, to me personally, it's a travesty. As a gallons of milk, not just milk, gallons of milk being an integral part of my week, sometimes a day. Call it my genetic, my genetic ancestry, okay? Some of you can tie your lineage back to early America. I at least have the ability to digest lactose. I have that. But look, so I don't want that for you, but, you know, it's like Alaska, right? It's like far away, and like it's got geographic issues. Am I tripping, Jim? No, sir, it's their fault. They live in remote villages. Some reasonable men in the chat and in Alaska. Thank you for that. Stop drinking milk, Nick. Why are you saying insane things? Why do you hate me? My imagination. So look, Nick could easily earn a job at Fox News with that delivery. Thank you. I appreciate it, chat. Shout out to you. I'm glad you're enjoying yourselves. All right, moving in. Let's move it along here. 888-775-3773. Can we jump into some things here? Look, I had this for you from the get. Did this happen? We got a flip off. You know, there was one time when Trump said the F-bomb, remember? It was like recorded. It wasn't, I don't know. He didn't say it in any public setting. I think he had like pen on his tie. They're like, Mr. President, you have a smudge on your tie. He's like, a what? A what? Oh, call me simple. I'm like, haha, swear words. He's big president man. Big president man say no word. Nit probably means me when he says reasonable men. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at you. Of course I meant you. So reasonable in chat. Everybody's so reasonable. Varying degrees. Trump flipping this person off. Look, let's watch this. Apparently flipping him off. Okay. What do they say? Flipping the bird. Okay. What did he say there? Bing. Now we don't hear him at all. All the news publications are pretty sure what he said. They're lip readers. I don't think this has been denied at all by the White House, all the way to the White House. Now, what's this guy saying? Saying, my protector is all you can kind of hear. File, maybe you could kind of hear file. File protector. PDF file. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes the hate clean language just takes over. I'm like about to say something else, and it just doesn't come out that way. It overrides me. I'm overridden. And so we're saying PDF file. And that's what they're saying. That's what this heckler. They're calling him a heckler. They're calling him a heckler. TJ is his name. TJ with the pit vipers. You're supposed to be on our side. Take those off. Or is that is that a little bit more like, okay, is it like MAGA hat on one side, Pit Vipers on the other side? Some of you guys, I unite them, Some of you guys don't even know what I'm talking about. Trump flips off employee. This guy's its own employee at this, what was it? Like a line worker, like an auto, right? Like for automobile factor, no? Ford fact, there it is. Ford. This guy was suspended, and he says he had no regrets. Accused Donald Trump of being a PDF file protector during a visit on Tuesday. TJ Sabula. I don't know what kind of name that is. TJ. Am I getting what? Am I getting the Rock vibes? Is it just me or am I getting what am I saying? The Rock vibes. I'm clearly having some sort of medical emergency, because that's just like a white guy, I think. I'm familiar with that last name, but look, maybe some sort of Mediterranean, something, Greek, something. 40 years old, buddy. Time to grow up. Yelling at the president. Pedophile protector. And they're saying the president gave him in what's it called? Like a no mystery here, nothing hidden. Is that are we seeing well, I don't know. We need experts on this. We need to enhance, zoom in. I can't do it. I don't have the technology. We have the technology. Is that a F? Is that a back-to-back FU? I sure hope it is. That's unbecoming of a president. Don't you know that's unbecoming of a president? Did we see the picture, by the way? Bing, bing. There it is. Enhanced. I need this. I need this image. Get him out of here. Censor that. Somebody censor that. Epic. You can say epic. Is epic dated? What do they say now, right? Because it's like rage baited. It was trolling, right? It's not epic. It's based. But I think that's for the old heads too now. Based. Trump's silhouette is hilarious in itself. Yeah, the thing is hilarious. The double take. So yeah, I'm thinking he did, and I'm pretty sure the White House has responded. I think they're saying this was an appropriate response. President Donald Trump appeared to flip someone off as he toured a Michigan Ford plant in an incident caught on video. A lunatic was wildly screaming expletives in a complete fit of rage, and the president gave an appropriate and unambiguous response. So this is a government-sanctioned flip-off. Just so you know, not sanctioned. Government. I don't know English anymore. I'm an anchor baby. No, this is a government-approved. Okay? Let's keep it simple. The kids call it rage baiting now. Based is boomer now. What the WTF? That's that New York in him. Look. So, where were we? Yeah, government approved flip off, by the way. Okay. The video then shows the president pointing to the factory floor as he continues to walk through part of the factory, then appears to flip someone off. Second video is then played showing what appears to be a more zoomed-in shot of the... Where can we get the zoomed-in shot? It also shows what TMZ suggests is a person yelling, pedophile protector, ripping the Band-Aid off at the president. In the TMZ video, the president appears to respond by pointing at the person and mouthing or saying, F you, twice. How's that grab you? Huh? Bing, bing. How's that grab you? Okay, so hilarious. Okay, we're just having fun. It's just silly. The Epstein thing comes up, but real quick, GoFundMe's. We need a national crackdown. Okay. We need a young internet savvy team, maybe leader to lead a team that will government approve GoFundMe's. Okay, the GoFundMe's, we are nationalizing the GoFundMe's until we can figure out just what in the hell is going on, right? Because it's like you kill an ICE agent, you die by ICE, die by officer, your family gets a payoff. You swear at the president. Moment Trump swore over Epstein taunt backfires. Okay, this is apparently backfired. Trump wasn't doing it. He was just responding, okay? Mano a mano. Okay. Oh, it backfired? No, this is just evil people. Apparently supporting the guy. Now he's suspended. I don't know what's going to happen with him. I don't care, but they raised $280,000, really? If you could raise, I hear them now, if you can raise whatever, $500,000, whatever, for saying the N-word, we can support this. What do they probably call him, a patriot? Because he shouted, what, pedophile protector? What's the big win here? As Sabulia became a hero to Trump critics on social media, news spread that he was suspended from his post. Despite this, he told the Washington Post that he has no regrets whatsoever. Surely, that's not how you act as an employee. Imagine that, like, my employee, the president of the whatever you think, you're just like some employee. You're just some employee. Like, this is my factory, and the president's here. My employee's like tripping. Yeah, you're out of here, buddy. Shortly after news broke of his suspension, they set up a GoFundMe. They call him a patriot. I knew it. I swear I didn't read this before. They call him a patriot because I know how they operate. Like, they'll always when they're out there protesting and agitating and all that, one thing they'll fall back on is being a patriot, though. And the reason I'm out here, though, is because I care about my country. And it's like right behind them, they're like burning the American flag. By Wednesday morning, the fundraiser had long surpassed its original goal. Okay, so they raised money for this guy. Ill-gotten, sort of, in a way, right? As opposed to just like, hey, that's like a big payout, right? Like, I'm sure there are many out there listening like, hey, I'd quit my job tomorrow if I got that kind of payout. Find a different job, whatever. So sure, you got a payday, but at what cost? Don't scoff. At what cost? The principle of it all. Don't laugh. Real quick, since I had it saved, what is Jen Psaki? What is she doing? Jen Psaki, right? Biden's gal. She's giving a for shame to the president. If this will load. You should be ashamed, Mr. President. Can we get her red head, her frumpy, big old red head? Where are you? We don't have to play the clip. Okay, we can move on. Look, I wanted you to see it was funny. Wake you up a bit. You see her frumpy redhead just mad about a woman on the news telling you, admonishing you. You go, this is the country we're in now. But whatever. I think I'm getting attacked by intelligence. Let's see. Does archive work? So that works. Remember how this wasn't working yesterday? And then all of a sudden it was working for James. Okay. Now Mediaite is going to give me issues. Trump's middle finger. She posted about it on her X. Trump's middle finger towards a heckler at a Ford plant earlier felt directed at all of us, at every person in this country who still believes in common decency. So she's worried about common decency. This guy's worried about pedophiles or something. It sounds like all those things are silly. Right? Is that just me? Now, this is what was breaking, I guess, not even that long ago. Hillary Clinton will now be held in contempt of Congress after refusing to testify before the Oversight Committee in the Epstein investigation. Now, let me pull this up. Let me pull this up for you. Epstein. And even this guy, this is like some congressman, makes it about like these survivors and these women and these young women and survivors. Like, I mean, we've been through this. We've already gotten the negative. Like, Hake has been through this, right? They're not pedophiles. They're not children. They're like, right? It's not that. Okay. They all speak about how everyone they talked to was just an absolute gentleman. How many of them? I think 2 of them were like, yeah, and Trump had nothing to do with anything. But yeah, they're stuck on that whole, like, I don't know, it's just like this pedophile thing, right? Like, it's a sexual impropriety. The women were attacked. It's like they wanted to be there. I guess the only angle that seems to have some sort of weight, at least to some people, because look, what's this? Essentially, you have, this is the U.S. House Oversight Committee into Jeffrey Epstein's activities, okay? You understand? 2025 to 2026. I know we just started the year, but Republicans control the House. The Oversight Committee, which is chaired by James Comer. Okay? That's James Comer right there, presenting this news about the contempt of Congress thing with the Clintons. So Republicans are in the House. They got the House Oversight Committee here, chaired by James Comer. And they launched a probe into, this is what they billed it as, Epstein's influence on U.S. officials and the government handling of his cases and potential cover-ups. So, I must have missed it or something. Like, that's how it came down. I didn't know it was billed like that. But that is the other angle, right? That's like the other angle. It's like, oh, the young women, the pedophiles, like Clinton, is it like a evil pedophile ring and all that? Okay. It seems like the only thing that holds some weight here is this like blackmail thing, okay? And influence. I mean, that's how they build this oversight into this Epstein Files transparency thing. If you remember, the 2024 Epstein Files Transparency Act was passed, okay? And it was like supposedly this bipartisan like thing into releasing more files, but everyone's unhappy with it, and everything that's released is like redacted. And there were files that were released that were redacted, right? They have the big black bars, you can't see past them. And people were able to just copy and paste. into a separate document, kind of bypassing it, a bit of a, call it a bit of an oversight of the oversight committee or something. But I mean, where was I with this? They're trying to invest. That's like the stated reason here. We're going to investigate if there was influence. Okay, is that blackmail? Whatever. So they're coming down on the Clintons, right? They're saying, well, you know, previous to this subpoena, there's all this, there's like pictures of Bill Clinton with them, Bill Clinton flying to the island. Hillary Clinton says, well, I'm way less involved. Like, I've never even flown to the island. But she's naming these subpoenas. So it's like, hey, we're the court. We're subpoenaing you. You got to come. They're saying, hey, this is just like an attack on us. This is just to humiliate us. But the oversight committee, they're like, no, these are legal requests. These are subpoenas, and we're subpoenaing Republicans, Democrats. And it's come to this level. So in August 2025, the committee subpoenaed several people, including Bill and Hillary Clinton, former FBI Director James Comey, and former attorney generals. Comer argued that the Clintons' past relationship with Epstein and Maxwell warrants questioning, even though neither has been accused of wrongdoing. So that's what these were. I mean, court proceedings into let's depose and cross-reference and depose and see if we can figure out the truth. I don't know. Does anybody feel confident on that? I just don't know. Like, I'm personally not the one that even cares so much, because all I gather is even in this, they're coming out and investigating the Clintons, right? For example, but even in this, they're asked this. What's this guy? Comer is asked about, like, what about all the stuff you're supposed to release? And they're like, yeah, we'll release that. We'll release. Now, I've never been one to be out here calling for the release of the files. That was y'all. Okay. Like, I like Trump because he's doing like real things. Handling the Arctic, setting up America for 50 years of trade, 100 years of trade, you know, like real things. And I'm not saying blackmail's not a real thing. But here's what I am saying. All this is fluff. Look, it seems like all these, it seems like a whole bunch of these people, left and right, could be involved in something. I don't know. Because look, they're like, okay, we're going after the Clintons. But what about your stuff? Oh, we'll get to that. Does it feel a little like, what's the word? Pointed or something? Like, what's the word? Theatric? Like, look, we're going after people. But that's what they're saying. She's in contempt of Congress. Like, I feel like there's something interesting in this clip. Let me play this for you a little bit.
Well, here we are again. I don't think it's any secret. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton joined her husband in defying a bipartisan lawful congressional subpoena to show up today. I think what's most disappointing to the Oversight Committee is the fact that we have, in good faith, negotiated with the Clintons' attorneys for 5 months. Throughout the past 5 months, they've implied to us they were trying to make a date work. In fact, the last date we had, they notified us 3 days beforehand, said that they would love to come, but they have a funeral to attend. And we have bent over backwards to try to schedule the Clinton. No, I'm still talking.
Oh, yeah, I got a little heated.
I'm still talking. Go ahead.
Hey, it sounds way louder because he knocked that mic and it's so loud.
The Clinton. No, I'm still talking. I'm still talking. Go ahead. Hey, get him out of here. You're not even a reporter. Get out of here. So here's the situation. We're going to hold both Clintons in criminal contempt of Congress. We believe that because this subpoena was issued in a bipartisan fashion, the Democrats acted the day that the subpoenas were voted on in the subcommittee like they wanted the Clintons to come. because they at that time, if you go back, they were wanting me to subpoena the estate, which I did. We subpoenaed the estate and got all the documents, everything. That was what the victims asked. That's what the Democrats asked. I think that's what the American people wanted. We subpoenaed the estate, got 100% of the documents. I have subpoenaed the Department of Justice
was a long video
for the documents, which they are producing. Now, we don't like the speed. We all wish the documents would come in quicker, but we've gotten tens of thousands of pages of documents from the Department of Justice. And remember, they made a big document drop, and the Democrats cried foul because they said they didn't...
demanded redactions.
Right, they wanted more redactions. So they're double and triple checking this. And the Department of Justice is complying with our lawful subpoena. The estate complied with our lawful subpoena. Bill Barr, Alex Acosta came in and were deposed because of our lawful subpoena. This same lawful subpoena was issued to the Clintons, and they defied it. And you know, Bill Clinton's trying to play the victim card here. Only Bill Clinton could try to triangulate something that's happened, a terrible atrocity.
Oh yeah, this is the part that I wanted to play. Listen to the lip service here a little bit to the atrocity, you know, because the idea here is like, well, we're investigating like, what's the influence here, and there's no accusations against the Clintons, just that they are refusing to show up for a subpoena, and they're saying it's because they're just trying to embarrass us, put us before courts and answer a bunch of embarrassing questions. Now, it has to be said though how kind of hypocritical the whole thing is, right? How so easy it is for the establishment, Democrats, you know, these really the left, the like liberals here, so easily right, call Trump a convicted rapist and all these things, and they're so on such blatant lawfare that was used against the president over so many years, and everyone around him. And so, right, for this like left, the liberals to just they're so easily eat up, right, what this institution did on their behalf, right, like as good foot soldiers, good ideologues for the party, you know, and so when on almost, I have to say almost, because the cries really came from both sides, right? But it came from the right as well. But hey, on let's call it the cries of the left. Hey, what are you, a pedophile protector? What's up with that Epstein stuff? And stuff starts coming down on Democrats, and they're like, hey, whoa, calm down. I don't have to show up to that. I don't have to show up to your little subpoenas. What is this? Your institution means nothing to me. It's a little rich, no?
To the Clinton.
But listen to this. So, the whole idea is like the influence, the foreign influence or whatever on U.S. officials. But listen to the lip service he has to do, or I gotta say, this is just the mayo of America. Personally, I don't think it's strategic. I bet you this is like part of his motivation and his belief system, like how what he's about to say, right? He's about to do this whole thing on the victims and all this.
Bill Barr, Alex Acosta came in and were deposed because of our lawful subpoena. This same lawful subpoena was issued to the Clintons, and they defied it. And you know, Bill Clinton's trying to play the victim card here. Only Bill Clinton could try to triangulate something that's happened, a terrible atrocity to these survivors that have had to endure who knows what from Epstein and Maxwell. So
and their associates.
So we're trying to get answers to the American people. We're serious about it.
Wait, who are they?
Once again, not a single Democrat showed up. You know how many depositions we've done? There's always a Democrat here. The former President of the United States, former Secretary of State, neither one of them.
Terrible, terrible victims that endured. One of those victims is like reached out to Epstein when he was like in jail and stuff, and was like, "Hey, darling," I'm paraphrasing, "can't wait to see you. I'm sorry for everything that's happening," something like that. The poor victims, who one called Trump an absolute gentleman, I believe. I think multiple did. Some of you guys in the chat, okay. Bill turns himself in wearing the blue skirt and says, "That's all in the past, but you should ask Hillary about this." Oh, chat. Anyways, look, Epstein. I want to get back to some of you guys here, my supporters, callers, and all that. I want to get to David out of Texas. How you doing, sir? You're on the air.
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine, man. Thank you. Go ahead.
Good. Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I saw a meme, I think it was yesterday, and it was a cartoon, and it was kind of like a profile picture of Trump, and underneath his feathered hair, he had the Epstein list.
Under his where?
Underneath his hair.
Uh-huh.
It was funny.
The fabled Epstein
the
list.
Epstein list. Yeah, that's where it is, just in case you want to know.
You'll never get my secret Krabby Patty formula. But yes, go ahead.
The photograph of Trump with the "You're number one" signal out there, you know, the old finger.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very reminiscent. It's very reminiscent to me of Johnny Cash. There's a Johnny Cash photo that looks just like that.
I'm not familiar with that. I know Johnny Cash.
Oh, it's awesome.
Oh, no. I've seen this picture.
Oh,
I've
it's
definitely
awesome.
seen this picture. Johnny Cash just flipping the bird with that face.
Yeah, he's holding a guitar and, you know, with his left hand and giving him the what's for with the right hand. I think that, what I was going to say is that, you know, everybody says about Trump, well, he's not very presidential. And my question to that statement is, what is presidential? What is the gold standard for being presidential? Because all of the presidents in my life have either lied or been involved in some kind of scandal or they started a war or, you know, I mean, what is presidential? You know, they just don't like him because he's more real than any of them, I think.
Totally, man. That's just such a made up thing to not talk about, to not have a clear question or comment, right? A clear criticism. It's just a way of talking around something. Oh, he's not presidential. Right. So he's now has to act how I say. Then he'll be presidential.
Right. It's like calling somebody racist.
Yep.
You know, it turns off the conversation. So, that was it.
It's a conversation.
I'm coming up with all kinds of T-shirt ideas with these two pictures in mind.
Which two pictures? Oh, go ahead.
So Johnny Cash and Donald Trump with their explicative fingers.
I think that's good. I see it now.
Yeah. Yes. Before and after.
It's there. It's somewhere there. There's something there. Can't quite put
There is something there.
I can't quite put it there yet. Something there.
Well, you have a good rest of your show. Thank you for taking my call, and we'll see you on Punchy.
Right on, man. Hey, call me again, sir. Take care, David.
Thank you, buddy. You too. Bye-bye.
888-775-3773. Presidential. Trump's wife said his dancing is not presidential. I heard that. Like his YMCA dance. I heard she also doesn't like the weightlifting. When he does the Trump weightlifting thing. I forget why he does the weightlifting. Oh, right. He's imitating transgender weightlifters. His wife.
And classy person, right? She said, it's so unpresidential. I said, but I did become president. She hates when I dance. I said, everybody wants me to dance.
Get wrecked, Melania.
Darling, it's not.
She's got a movie coming out.
Presidential.
She's like, yeah, let's knock her. Yeah.
She actually said, could you imagine FDR dancing? She said that to me.
Melania, go for, for a second there, I'm like, whatever. It's just little Melania. She can't get close. It's like, whoo, she flew in close for a strike there. FDR, not that Trump's offended, right? But, it wasn't. I take it as like a high attempt. I mean, think about it. It's like, out of all the things you could have said, right? It's like, okay, let me tell you. How about here's one thing you won't like. You're not acting like a good president. How about that? And compared to other presidents, you're not so good. So I'm like, Melania might know at least what to attempt to say to attempt to get to the father, right? It's only in her nature, unless she's working on herself. I mean, I don't know. It's only in her nature. All women. So she may, being the wife, she may have some insight into at least what she thinks might get to the king, right?
Everybody wants me to dance. Darling, it's not presidential. She actually said, could you... It's not FDR dancing.
What the?
She actually said, could you imagine FDR dancing? She said that to me. And I said, there's a long history that perhaps she doesn't know. Because he was an elegant fellow. Even as a Democrat, right? He was...
Oh, I haven't seen this, folks.
Attack by Japan. He was quite elegant. But he wouldn't be doing this. But nor would too many others.
See, he's kind of defending it, right? Like, it's kind of funny. Like, to the wife, he's like, yeah, well, I became president, though. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but I am president. And I don't know if you really knew FDR, because I know facts that you don't know. Which is kind of cute, right?
But she says, darling, please, the weightlifting is terrible. And I have to say this, the dancing they really like.
Anyways, silly. Okay. Where are we, folks? Let's keep it moving. Clinton's contempt. Well, who knows? What are y'all saying over here? 888-775-3773. I'll get to you. Zyark, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the support, everybody. Let me see here. Thank you, Jules. My people over there on rumble.com/American Anchor, baby. Right on. Thanks for the support there. Very nice. Cool. So let's keep it moving here. How about this? Let's run it down. We did some of the news there. How about we run it down, loosey-goosey down the stuff I had. Look, the ICE thing again, not trying to hash it out. Not trying to hash it out like that. Look, we get it. Kind of interesting. Initially, I thought this was Renee Good's actual, biological father. No, it's the father-in-law. Okay, so the grandfather to the 6-year-old, father to the deceased husband, earlier husband of this Renee Nicole Good. But, I'm like, I threw it in. I threw it in anyways because, look, besides, how do I summarize the earlier stuff? Besides having a true, America first, people in the government being an important thing, the female spirit that has dominated in homes, in certain thinkings, in certain institutions must change. Because, look, it's just obvious. It's just like sometimes it's down to biology, folks. It's a spiritual thing. Yes, men have to overcome and all that. But when you just have some of these things over large numbers, you start getting trends, folks. Okay? Female, no male direction, starts losing it. Husband's dead. Goes deeper into what? LGBT, radicalism, hating Trump, the government. Her rage doesn't go unpunished. She finds herself goaded into / wanting to be out and confront armed law enforcement. Now she's dead. Women all over the country just, don't get it. Just very quick to protest. There's countless videos now of women out there with the same attitude as this Renee Good. Like, what? I'm not doing anything. I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. And that seems to be just average female response. Male in the situation. Father in the situation. Okay, father-in-law. He's like, no, not offended by the president's characterization of the shooting. Hopes the hostilities will calm. Renee was an amazing person, he says. Full of life, full of joy. Real gentle, good mother. I mean, hey. We could comment on that. We could, but let's move on. I just think we make bad choices. Okay, there's so much chaos in the whole world today. We need to turn to God and walk in the Spirit of God and let Him lead us and guide us. All right, that's all good. But, sir, what are your thoughts on her, the situation? He was pushed about his opinion whether Good Shooting's death was justified. It's a hard situation all around. I don't blame ICE. I don't blame Rebecca. That's apparently her wife, the woman that was out there saying, drive, baby, drive. I don't blame Renee. I just wish that, if we're walking in the Spirit of God, I don't think she would have been there. That's the way I look at it. Boom. Thank you. Maybe it was a little painful to get out. Okay? Being a man in 2026. You had to get it out. But hey, right on, sir. That's the spirit of the man. And any way he slices it, his conclusion ends up being, hey, she shouldn't have been there. So right on, sir. I'm not even being that hyperbolic. I really think it's this feminine just thinking, feeling bad for people, thinking you're a good person. At the heart of what do you call it? Woke. Let's call it woke. What they call woke. What they call woke. Nick, why are you scared of Alan? What are you talking about? Who's scared of Alan? I'm pretty sure y'all love Alan. Yeah, so he was saying, oh, man, chat's so mean to me. Chat's so mean to me. But you guys love each other. You guys can't get enough of each other. Right? It gets the thrills going. But, hey, no judgment. But the lines are open. 888-775-3773. Facts. You guys love them. All right, folks. Where were we? Oh, yeah. And say her name is reserved for the... I almost said what you said, dude, Jesus. But, yeah, it's reserved for blacks. Remember that. Okay. The spirit of the father and right, just a quick little story there, kind of cute, whatever. I know it's the father-in-law, but look, thank you for the reason. Just some coming to your senses, because an angry woman, let's say she writes, an angry woman who was once a lover of men, traditional values, and all things good, and Trump, should she not overcome her anger, right? Have anger. And should you cross her or whatever, something go wrong in her life or whatever, she will then dress up like a witch and do a faux, maybe this is AI generated, I don't know, do like a faux Salem witch trial. They're burning me like a witch. I'm a witchy woman. Red lipstick, I'm a witchy woman. I'm going to trans your kid, Elon Musk. That's what happens, by the way. It's that fast. Is she wearing a curtain? I don't know. Maybe this was an impromptu photo shoot. You may know her as Ashley St. Clair, conservative firebrand, very public figure, who's crashing out. She's having a public crash out, going back publicly on all her previous commentary on transgenders, apologizing publicly to the left and to the transgender community. She is Elon Musk's baby mama, conservative, Republican, Trump-supporting firebrand, conservative woman, Christian maybe. No, I don't know about that one. Maybe she was never Christian, but what should happen? Should you make a baby with a woman who does not want to obey, right? Who just like has an aversion test? You could say she's conservative. And let's say you then make her angry, right? No, it's nothing normal. It's nothing like, okay, well, I'm done with you, or I'm going to like sue you legally, which, by the way, I think did happen. There were legal things like, oh, Elon Musk, he's not giving me enough money. She's saying I've been giving her millions. No, you'll take it. No, you'll take it to the next level. You'll do a photo shoot where you're a witch, and now you're a witch, and now you're a witch getting burned at the stake. So what? I thought it was mere politics, but no, it's spiritual. And my son is in trouble if this was my baby mama. I think my son is in major trouble. Wow. You would think, wow, maybe some women become very hateful and they wish to attack the man and destroy the children to get to him. Yeah, Jesse, that happens sometimes, I'm sure. Yeah, maybe some women. Mic check. Is this okay? My mic okay? Testing 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Have I been really low this whole? That doesn't even make sense. Mic check. Mic check. You think, Jesse? Yeah, that happens sometimes. Some women are evil. They're not like. But you know what? In my case, no. We just didn't work out, and her politics are just changing. Okay, it's just a factual. No, it's spiritual. She actually is a feminist, hates the order, is pretending to be a witch on Instagram, and your son is in danger. Because she's trying to get to you. And that's all women that's the spirit of the woman. That's all. Right. And, unless you like see that, right? You're like, oh, I don't want to be like that. But, I call this a crash out. Okay. Valid? No. Is this AI generated? I almost think that's an AI generated photo. But yeah, Elon playing with fire with all those baby mamas. Are you paying for it? Are you paying for it, maybe? No, the audio's A1. Thank you. Is he paying for it? You know, it's one of those things. You're like, I figured it out. I'm just going to repopulate the earth. I'm just figuring it out. We just got to repopulate the earth. What were we thinking? What were we thinking, fellas? Let's just have sex and get married and make babies. And then he meets women. Then he meets women. And he makes babies with women. And he's like, whoa. I was supposed to think about this a little bit. Trans dude trying to join the witches' coven. What are you guys saying? Those witches in Salem would even say, a boy can't be a girl. Are you crazy? Yeah, that's a good, I don't know. Yeah, I gather, I want to say you're right about that, Kevin. Those witches in Salem would say, what do you mean? A woman is what? Trans what? This woman's insane. Burn her. Burn her at the stake. Hey, fellas, we'll burn me next. We'll burn me tomorrow. We got to deal with this one. That's what the witches would say. I can't repeat that alias name. I definitely can't repeat that, Doom Jesus. Animal nature in the chat. What a mess. Where were we? Ashley St. Crashout. We can move on from that. Just a little feminism in the world. Look, Lucy Goosey here. I had this thing here. We might have to do this Friday to show you in a deeper way. Because I was talking with people in Alaska briefly about it and what they're calling Arctic routes. Okay? It's going to be a brand new world. An Arctic battle. Okay? Greenland and sending planes that way. Some of you flat earthers are going to have to contend with it too. I swear you guys call me and tell me like, Nick, why don't we fly the like easiest, most direct route to this way and that way? Like these Arctic routes. And it looks like they're opening up technology, geographic, political things happening. Looks like it's the new frontier. You know, I'm just mentioning, well, I have some cool stuff maybe Friday. I've been meaning to flesh this out. I just kind of made a note here in my loosey-goosey topics. But know that it's like a incoming thing, right? For those interested in real things, right? Energy, oil, right? Like resources and the trade routes of the world. Greenland and Arctic trade routes, they're going to be a big thing, okay? A lot of money. And thank you, Mr. President, for being smart enough to be on top of that. Okay? Doing real things. So keep an eye out, okay? Arctic routes. We're going north. We're going direct. On the round earth. So everyone's going to be happy. That's right. No Arctic routes. That's right. That's what you guys say. Well, they're coming. So, you know, a lot of people are worried about some are worried. Some it's like they hear the news and it looks like protesters in Iran. It looks like we're not cool with those protesters getting hurt by the government over there in Iran. We might do something about it. Others are a little bit more informed, okay? They're a little bit more informed about the world. little bit more sophisticated, okay? Kind of like the ladies here at the Skim. I lovingly call them that, learned that from the Hake Report. It feels like ladies run this publication. It feels like ladies write these articles. And the ladies are on top of geopolitics. And they want you to know that we shouldn't expect a regime change anytime soon. Whew. Thank you, ladies at the Skim. Whew. I was worried there. The women, right? It's just funny kind of imagining like the women at the Skim, just articles on, the ICE raids. They have funny stuff down here. The ICE raids, making your move in this series of Spotlight Fitness. Calling all Bowie heads. Today marks 60 years. They have fun years. National Dress Up Your Pet Day. And also, on by the way, that little funny not girl boss thing happening over there. Yeah, regime change. We're letting you know. The ladies at the Skim, we're letting you know. Where is it? Yeah, don't expect it anytime soon. Don't worry. Experts say. But yeah, okay, so you heard about the protesters. They're saying some died at the hands of Iran. Now the video's not like violent. I still don't want to like play it. That being said, whoa, jeez, really? Did it have to be the loudest thing in the world? Did it have to be the absolute loudest thing you could have played? It looks like in this video that law enforcement seems to come down in a major way. I think that's them here in a moment, showing up in the bikes. It seems like an overwhelming force. And they just shoot him. They just shoot him and kill him. And that's the end of that. I don't know what to say. I'm not saying I support it. I'm just saying, like, how much unrest. It seems like, is that the end of the unrest, right? I mean, they're killing them. There's ladies at the Skim are saying the outside world is piecing together the story through fragments, brief phone calls that suddenly connect, and grainy footage. New York Times has verified a video posted online Tuesday shows security forces firing on protesters in eastern Tehran. The Times also reviewed videos shared on social media Monday in which gunfire rings out and crowds shout, "Death to the dictator." Experts told the Wall Street Journal Iran's response to the protests amounts to electronic warfare. So, Trump weighs in. They're weighing their options on the table, a potential cyber attack or strike on Iran. In the meantime, Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting, promised help is on the way. Pretty intense. I mean, war? I don't know. I can't believe how loud that was. And out of all the things that could, sorry, folks. So R.I.P. to your ears, but with what's left of it. Where were we? Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we're just watching, right? Very strong action. Some are saying in 24 hours. We're going to see what's going to happen. 24 hours. Yeah, it's like a question that that's one of my I don't knows. That's one of my I don't knows on. I trust Trump. When it comes to like military action with Venezuela. Made sense in our backyard. And then you get to Iran, right? It's pretty far. Can't really strike us here. Should others deal with them first before us? I think to myself, too, though, like, out here, well, the only reason they're getting a nuke is because they just don't want to be regime changed, Iran. I'm like, is that even true? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. On those things, I don't know. Is it that Israel and America has simply been pushing Iran to nuclearize, and if we just let them alone, they'd be cool. We'd be just chill. We could be like global trade partners. It's like a whole new world. Or is it not that? Is it that it's like they don't play nice? And it's been an issue for years. Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know. Straight up. So what else? Iran. I mean, look. 24 hours, right? We're watching. Nick set off car alarms with that G's. So thank you, ladies at the skim. They are letting us know, though, even if the U.S. intervenes, experts say we shouldn't expect a regime change anytime soon. Are we feeling pretty confident with the ladies there? Yup, it's true if you're talking about the Ayatollah regime. Yeah, again. I mean, you're welcome to talk to me about it. You're welcome to tell me about it. But that's some of this, more of the hard hitter. Some of the news, right? Some of that was going on. You know, I was watching the JLP show earlier, and they were playing a little Jasmine Crockett clip. And there was something interesting about this. Because you watch this lady, you think, how can she be elected in any way? She is just like a nothing person. Just so phony. And her solutions are just so like, they're just like blunt and blatant, just spells to keep people in anger. Like, there's no real desire for change. And if you paid attention, you know that what I'm saying is true. But okay, this played earlier, and what struck me about it was the thing about Crockett is as, how do I put it, as honestly, as stupid as she comes off, she, what's the word, is operating with strategy. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, like, for example, when she was saying about illegal immigration and how we need those people to do certain jobs, and how blacks don't want to pick cotton anymore. It was actually, you take that statement and you think, well, she's a very simple person in the head. You think, well, she's not very sophisticated. She's just kind of very crudely took some points and just Frankensteined them together. In another perspective, you think, well, actually, that's maybe even a masterful move here. Think about it. The whole idea of Americans don't want to do these jobs is an old line in politics that's been repeated over, I've now gathered, over decades. And it's this old line of Americans don't want to do these jobs. That's an old line used by Democrats and Republicans when they're indicating a pro-immigrant labor, all the way from pro-immigrant labor, foreign labor, to radical open border policy. You're signaling that you're like in that camp. You know, so take this in for a moment. Black Democrat Jasmine Crockett, who started off, by the way, you know, I'm like, who the heck is Jasmine Crockett, right? Like, how does she say something so dumb yet actually could be perceived as a masterful move here, right? How do I got the Democrats on I got the blacks on the Democratic plantation. And how do I use this ICE thing, immigration, right? Keep them there. How do I upload a new thought into these blacks? You know what, blacks? You know what you're against? You know what you're for, black people, actually? You're for immigrant foreign labor. Let me tell you why. Because we're done picking cotton. And boom, right now you've like sanitized, you've laundered, you've black laundered this establishment line of Americans don't do these jobs, which is how you get voters to support foreign labor, essentially, for different purposes, right? Either for the firms that want to hire them to save money and make bank, / the politicians and people who want to hold on to power because these are votes. How do you then, right? She's sanitizing that thinking there by telling them, well, blacks, what do you support? You support foreign labor. And why? Because you're not picking that cotton anymore, right? Am I right? It's like, who's telling Jasmine Crockett, right, to say these things? I personally think it's just like an old, tired contingency in our American politics that loves to use racism and all these things for their own gain. Here's like another example of that, right? This played early on the JLP show. I think she's doing the same, some of the same here.
I think
by calling out ICE and saying, well, they need to. Basically, she's doing some big show about presenting some bill which would force these law enforcement, these ICE agents and all that, to identify themselves. But she says something somewhat interesting in the midst of it all.
Like, I'm going to just call a thing a thing. Like, this administration is racist. That he has always been a racist, and that is what we are enduring in this country. Let me give you some facts behind this racism. And they get mad when I say the things that I say, but I will not stop speaking the truth. Number one, I said that what we were experiencing in this country felt like what I would imagine slave patrols to look like. And frankly, anybody that knows anything about slave patrols, this is exactly what it was like. We're talking about...
Wait, on side note, is that true somewhat? Like the police and their history with slave patrols? I don't know if that's their inception, but I feel like that came up on the Hake Report.
Lawless people that are going around with no warrants or anything, and it's all about rounding people up and disappearing them. That is what's currently taking place. And interestingly enough, even though modern day policing was born out of slave patrols, when I was speaking with one of my friends who is a federal law enforcement officer, he told me that one of the things that he has observed is that the culture is created at the top. And when I think about it, it absolutely makes sense. If you have somebody at the top that will not tolerate the types of things that we're seeing, then maybe those under you won't do it. But we know that we have a racist at the top. He has called himself the head law enforcement agent in this country, and therefore everybody has decided that it is okay to take off their hoods and mask up as ICE agents.
What do you guys say here? I tuned her out. Nothing she says is... What are you saying? One of you said something. So here's the thing. Here's why I'm playing it, like kind of like my own little thing on this. It's that, how do I put this? Like, yeah, she's lying on Trump. She's saying lies blatantly. But she knows the game she's playing, or at least her team does. You know, it is true about ideological capture. It is true, like, you know, you have like cops acting how the culture is at the top, coming from the top. Okay? You understand? And they know this about ideological capture. That's why they put their people in places. That's why they're trying to put them in the National Guard. That's why they try to, like, divide people in law enforcement with the vaccination stuff. It does come from the top down, as like culturally, and there is an ideological capture. That's why there's a top down just bias and hatred on whites and all that. And you can like see that in like the numbers. You can see like this bias kind of play out. Talk about ideological captures. I mean, all her bedfellows or whatever you call them. They're those right. Those communists basically are the ones running things. But there was one more thing about this. What was it? I'll get to your call. I saw your call. What was it about this?
He told me that one of the things that he...
Oh yeah, because and just kind of another side note too, because I feel like someone called today. What was it? Was it today or yesterday? Someone's show, maybe Hake Report, maybe JLP, and they weren't too happy with the cops. Someone was really, really unhappy with the cops, and they're thinking they're wrong. Like, it's just institutionally they're wrong. But this guy was like, I think this guy was like a white guy, like conservative. I think a Christian, but has become jaded with this anti-white government, anti-Christian, anti-family government. The institutions become an arm of all that. The police, the law enforcement becomes an arm of these terrible things you don't like. And so now you're like, the cops are wrong. But it's just merely a matter of who's running things. Oh, the state. We can't have a strong state. It's wrong. Or something like that. No, it's a matter of like, who's running it? But anyways, that's obvious, right? That's obvious, right? Jeez. 888-775-3773. Last bit of the show here. How about we get to... Let me see here. Look at the time. How did the time fly? All right, folks. How about here in the last few minutes of the show? Let's get to Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. How you doing, Rick? You're on the air.
Brother Nick, what's up, my brother? How's it going?
All is well, man. No complaints, Rick. Go ahead.
Man, what do you think about Trump wants to acquire Greenland?
I love it.
President Trump. You know what? I don't. Why do President Trump want to acquire Greenland for?
Arctic routes. In my
Arctic
opinion.
routes. What you talk about? Being able to travel the Arctic through Greenland. You mean?
Correct. And if America does it, someone else will.
Do a lot of people live in Greenland?
You said what?
Do a lot of people live in Greenland?
You know what? I don't know. But it's essentially owned, I believe, by Denmark, right? So Denmark is some country in Europe. And at some point in history, somebody was like, here's a gift or something like that. And it's like an old history thing. But, you know, it's not like Denmark has and I could be wrong about that, by the way. Yeah, Denmark basically owns it, but they don't have prove their ownership by upkeeping it, having their people over there. That's what I heard. And so others are interested in it. China, Russia. And basically what I hear the big plan is a whole bunch of trade centering around these Arctic routes, which is not really how it's done right now. But if you know anything about Greenland, its geographic position, I mean, you essentially have a portal into the whole other side of the world, and you have like a what's it called, like a pressure point or a foot point. You know what I'm saying there?
Mm-hmm. So it's like a shortcut to the Europe,
and beyond, even China. Because think about it. I'm trying to pull it up. Geographically,
you know, Trump's a genius,
what
man.
were you thinking as I pulled this up?
I was thinking possibly oil was there too.
Resources is part of it. It's
right.
The big one is a geographic, the geographic kind of advantage, and being able to set up intelligence / military installations in such an area.
Well, I tell you what, man, it's really cold up there, man. I don't see what use. Look, I don't know, man. You know.
You said what? It's cold. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's cold up there in Greenland,
They
man.
call it Greenland, but it's ice. I mean,
yeah, that's what.
We can be sure of that one, there, Rick.
Well, I guess too. Well, you know, I tell you what.
But check it
President
out. It's
Trump,
like a straight shot. It's a straight shot into Russia, into China, into a whole bunch of places.
Yeah, I see where it's positioned at. Yep, it's you near Canada, Russia, Europe.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's great.
I
We
doubt
like
they got
it.
any, you know. I don't know, but you know, Greenland already said they don't even want to entertain it. You know.
That's what Greenland said? Yeah, I heard Denmark too was like saying something, and Trump was like, "Who's gonna stop us? You know, you have some piece of paper." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like that. It was something to the effect of, how would you, like, Denmark does not, only owns, it doesn't really prove their ownership, right? They don't have anybody there. Who's going to stop the U.S.?
Right, yeah, that's the question. So who owns Greenland?
That's actually a good question. Yeah, officially, it's like Denmark's. It's a sovereign state of Denmark or something like that, which is some country all the way over here in Europe. But,
yeah,
you know, that's, when you say who owns it, I mean, that's the question, right? I mean, what is ownership now? You have to prove your ownership. You have to keep the ownership should it be contested. You know what I mean?
Right. Man, that's interesting, though. That is interesting, you know.
Right on. Yep. But
you know what? I'm sure President Trump got a good reason to want to get Greenland, and I really trust his vision, man. He has a vision, man. Like, one thing I like about President Trump, what he does that I like, anytime he helps a country, hey, you got to pay for this. This ain't free. So give us that oil, Venezuela oil, at a nice discounted rate. I like that. That's fair.
You said they're going to give who discounted oil?
You know, like for example, by the catching of Maduro, so President Trump can go in and say, hey, look, we need some oil at a discounted price, if you will. You see what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, call it perks, call it privileges, call it perks of doing business.
Right, because everybody uses USA and no one pays them. No one gives us a dime. Even when it's a conflict, America always sends the most military, while everybody else only send like 23 troops and maybe one helicopter. And, you know, it's time out for that there, Nick.
I think I understand, Rick.
Out for that.
Yeah. You know, it's just time for making sure that America is happy in the deals. There's a whole bunch of deals. Right. If there's something we could summarize here, Rick, it's that there's all sorts of deals that are not beneficial for America for various reasons.
Yeah.
Because the deal makers are ideologically opposed to America, etc. For their various reasons. And we just need right? You just need the people to make sure that we are taken care of as well when we're making deals.
Yeah, I agree.
But Rick, man, that's all the time we have today. Can you call me again?
Man. Yeah, as always, man. I love supporting my brothers, man. So I'll try and get through tomorrow there, Brother Nick. As always, with our sisters and brothers who are listening, we love you guys. Y'all be blessed, be safe. And we'll hear from each other tomorrow. All right, Brother Nick. Love you, brother. Be cool. And keep putting the news out.
Thank you, Rick. Call me again. Amazing. Folks, that's it for me. I got to go. Punchy TV's coming in an hour. Don't miss it. Okay? That's Punchy TV on YouTube, punchy.tv. But for now, I must say goodbye. See you shortly. Amazing. All right, folks. For real now. This time, I must go. Take care. See you in an hour. Punchy TV coming on later. Bye.
The views, information, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this show are the individual's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the JLP Network or Bond. Their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The JLP Network and Bond name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.